Hello. Um, Today I would like to show you a journal series that I call Nostalgia because I have been collecting old things for a long time, and my journals are mainly botanical, and my artwork is botanical printing and sewing and embroidery, but I wanted to use the old things, and I've recently been to Crete, and every time I go somewhere I always find an antique shop or um, a charity shop. But there was an antique shop and I found beautiful vintage very old laces and photographs, and so I finally decided to make a series of journals that I called Nostalgia. So these are all original ephemera pieces. Nothing is copied, and I didn't scan anything for myself. I just always use the original things. And so you can be assured some things in here are from 1800s, even that old, and some things from 1920s, some things maybe more recently. So there is a real mixture of things that I had for years, some of those. And from abroad, I collect things when I go on holiday. I live in Ireland and I'm from Czech Republic, so when I go there, I collect vintage things. So it's a mixture, eclectic mixture. So to explain this journal is rusted fabric, cotton. This is cotton lace from Crete, very old. It was very fragile, but it's sewn in and all secured. Then this is some craft paper. I got this wrapping, and it was, I have it somewhere, but it's really like, I don't know. It's cool. It's just these strips of craft paper, but it's all attached together. It's a sheet. And I thought I could use it for something because I've never seen it before. And it's quite grungy and brown, and I liked it. So here is Queen's Anne's lace. I love these plants because, well, you know I love them. They feature in my journals a lot. They grow where I live. And this is eco-dyed paper. I collected some eucalyptus in Crete, so I dyed paper with it when I arrived back. Here we have a print, my print on the spine on some canvas fabric, and we have 5 signatures. The book has about, I would say it's like 7 centimeters spine. They are chunky. They are 18 centimeters high and 16.5 centimeters wide. The pages are 18 high and 16.5. The book itself is bigger because obviously the base was that measurement, but then I added things and it made it bigger. And I was thinking I leave the gap there. You can add tabs if you want, and they will not get ruined. There is space. You can add tabs, flaps, you can have things hanging out, ribbons, pins, I don't know, anything you want, charms. Then I put in this brass closure, so it's sewn there on this canvas hinge and closes like that. And the back is eco-dyed paper, embroidery. Don't worry, I'll clean all these off. And some vintage lace and fabric, loads of sewing. Okay, so I'll show you one, and the others are similar. Obviously, all the things inside them are different because they are original, so they are not two of the same ephemera pieces, but the idea is the same. There are same type of things in same signatures, if you know what I mean. So here is a pocket. This is original print, printed by me. You know, all my prints come original. I don't scan them. I just give you the, put in the books the real print. So here is a pocket that goes this way. And first signature, here we have this book from 1890s, I think. It was a guide to tourism around Ireland, but there is, on the back was a lot of adverts from England. I'm looking if I have that book somewhere here. No, I have these poems, but I don't know where that book is now. So, and these adverts are just beautiful drawings, and it's very fragile. Oh, this is just for decoration. This is some eco dyed paper, and here, this is the large pocket. Okay, pocket. Here is the glassine paper. I love this size. It's so nice to hold, and they are soft, and so when you fill them, they will sort of round up, because they will not keep more and more open. They will round up because of this space here. Anyway, went on a tangent. So, and we have vintage pages, tea, coffee dyed pages, cooking book, typing book, Sir Walter Scott poem book, dyed papers, sewn two papers together, Muji paper, vintage pages. I had left some Tim Holtz paper, so I made big pocket from the eco dyed fabric. Look how beautiful that is. Oh, and this envelope is my grandmother's envelope. And you can put things behind it. You can put things in there. You have to cut this with a knife, which I'm gonna probably do for you, and put things in there, because when I put the book in, I didn't realize I'm gonna sew it. I know, amateur. And I thought it's gonna open like that. Obviously not. So I decided to make this in a pocket, this, and this is the same. And this says Maria Motikova. That was my grandmother. She had envelopes made, and the signature is finished with a ceramic bead. And the further down is grandfather as well, because they had a shoe shop. Yeah, like years ago, before we had communism in Czech Republic, they had a business, and then obviously after communism happened, businesses weren't allowed. So my grandma worked in a cinema. She was meeting and greeting in the cinema. Oh, she was fabulous. So here is another rusty fabric print of Queen Anne's lace. Here is advert. Again, there was vintage advert for wedding cakes and casino, I think. Here is the vintage lace from Crete. 3 sort of circles. A parchment paper pocket with a map page in Holden. This is from Hungary. I went there a few years ago, and this is somebody's like a stamp ID book. I can see it was from the time in communism, because there is the star, but I can't read it because it's in Hungarian. But it's cool. It's like chalky, and yeah, it's vintage, nice. This is a Czech book about healing plants. This is Grandad, Valentin Motika v Setin. That's the place I'm from. That's where I was born. So Valentin Motika. And these old envelopes are great because they have this layer of paper here, like a lining. Love it. I don't have many of those, but I used one of each in each of these 3 journals, and I think I'll keep the rest now. And this is an sewing book, different sewing techniques, also vintage. So, oh, this is eco dyed paper card that I made and dyed. That's a cherry leaf, and this is a little pocket. There's a lot of sewing and different tags and pockets. This is a card from Czech Republic where you come to work and you put in this machine and it timestamps it. That's the card, I think. When you arrived and when you leave, and then you get paid from what you worked. Tim Holtz pocket here. Here is a collage from some vintage book from trees and a sewing machine. Here, so here hand-dyed glassine paper. I love glassine paper, it's so smooth. German book page. Music paper, vintage English plants. Here another pocket with eco dyed paper. All different things. Cookbook. This is an old map of Limerick. That's from the book where the adverts are, the old tourist book. This is an old map of Limerick in Ireland. It's quite old and fragile. Here is hand-printed textile pocket. Tea-dyed papers, green dyed paper, yellow dyed paper, quilting book page, old clothes making page. You can gesso on them and then write or stick something on them or leave them if you like them. A lot to work with and start your journaling. Now here we have a green fabric printed and a nice printed designer paper, glassine. They are so strong, them glassine papers. Here, fashion page, birds, flap. And the drawing paper is 120 GSM, heavy. Here is Tim Holtz pocket, hand-dyed papers. That's vintage book page made into 2 pockets. And a little vintage book, a bird book, and I put double page in there. You can put something there in the top and you can look at it. We have a swan there. I love these. They're English. The books with the animals and birds and plants are English illustrated guides to nature. Here is tracing paper, tea-dyed, and I sewn on it an old Greek money. I think it's drachma. I think that's what they used to be called. And here, this is really old map. I think it's from beginning of this century. There was no date on it, but I know it's old. And it's so nice, chalky, and the colors, it's like the quality that vintage maps used to have, and the colors. I put a metal plate on it, so you can put a tag in there, write something there on this signature. And I had this is very detailed map, and I had it in like a big frame. There was 2 pieces, and I thought it's the whole island, but then it didn't match up. I was gonna reframe it and put it on my wall, and it just didn't match up. And I realized there is piece missing, so there was 3 like 3 sheets of it. But I bought it in an antique shop, and so I don't know where the 3rd piece was. It wasn't in the antique shop, it wasn't anywhere. And so I decided not to keep it because I couldn't have the whole map. So I'm using it in these journals, and I think I don't have any left. I think I used it. So I thought I'll put some here. It's really nice. Another tuck. And okay, more interesting vintage pages. This is map from Czech Atlas, old as well. And this is made into a pocket. This is a floor plan of a cathedral, ground plan of Finbarr's Cathedral, so that's in Ireland. This is a print on tracing paper, Czech Atlas, the vintage colors again. You've got the turquoise. Now the atlases are more like ultramarine blue, then it used to be turquoise in. Another poem by Sylvester Scott, Marmion, that's quite a famous one, but I don't know them very well. They're very long. Don't really read long poetry, I must admit. Not my thing. Oh, and this in the back is a pocket from wallpaper. It's really strong, so you can put anything you want in there. It's deep and it's sewn to this, so you can hide something in there. Just don't pull it off because it's, you can see it's sewn there and there. And this is coffee dyed linen. So, and all these signatures are finished with beads, ceramic beads. So there's this one with this lady standing at the somewhere nice and warm, looking at the sea. Then I have this one, and I made this, is the same inside, but it's a bit wintry. I made this embroidery in white. You can see it's white, like a winter Queen's Anne's lace, like it's covered in snow and all this. And I put like a vintage lace snowdrop, because these people, they have Christmas tree behind them and they're wearing jackets. So, and then I put like white dots with my white pen there, and the eco dyed paper, I picked really dark one so it comes out, and you can see here is a print of Queen's Anne's lace in the eco dyed paper. Here is one I embroidered and here is one I printed in there. Rusted fabric. Here we have the seed heads, and here I did the black one, and you can see there is another one in the paper. And here is one I embroidered. Here is another snowdrop, but it's not Christmassy inside. It could be any season, really. It's the same as the other one. You get the same envelopes, the same types of papers, collages. So that's that one. They're all very chunky, 7 centimeters spine, but still lots of space, and each have about 250 pages both sides. And this is the last one, and here we have, on the back of the picture was written Rome, so I assume it was taken in Rome. There is a guy with a boy, man with a boy on this vintage card, and it's all yellowed, like it's real aged, not aged by inks. And embroidery again, craft paper, vintage lace from Crete, seed heads, and the back is beautiful, really. Look how many colors you get in this eco dyed paper, and 3 Queen Anne laces and vintage lace. And here are the 2 Queen Anne lace. and same again, same again, same again. And then I'm gonna put in the shop 4 of these, and these are just autumnal colors. This is a plant, quite hairy plant. I think it's called like an old man's beard. I don't know the scientific name. It grows a lot in these parts, and it's flattened and dried. Then it's ironed onto white paper underneath tissue paper with beeswax. So it's all sealed there. This is paper and it's ironed with beeswax. The beeswax went through, so it's sealed, and there's paper on the top so it won't like come off or break. Then it's sewn on this card and sewn around, so you've got some pretty sewing. And then this fabric is vintage linen that I gessoed and printed with fabric inks and my own blocks, stamps. I carved my own stamps from lino and printed these, and you've probably seen them before because I had them in the shop before, and I had 4 covers left, so I made 4 more. And here is again the vintage page from the Irish map and textile pocket. These books are a little bit more plain. There is a huge selection of vintage papers and tea and coffee dyed papers and different, grit. This is a big grit paper. This is how to make lampshade and like patchwork book. So the papers are very similar to the books you've seen a minute ago. And you even get the adverts and collages and these designer papers with animals. Everything is sort of brown, yellow, beige. You get beautiful vintage pages, mushrooms, everything that you always get in my books. You get eco-dyed papers, lots of sewing, everything is sewn around, but they are gonna be a little bit cheaper. This is beautiful bird page because they, to me, seem like they are a little simpler. And oh, look at this pocket. I printed that coffee dye. That's watercolor paper, and we have a pocket on each end, but it's there's not much space, so you can maybe slide like one paper in there, not to like rip it off. It's more for decoration really, but you can put something there. Okay, 5 signatures, 200 pages approximately, 2 to 250 front and back. Beads, and this fabric is orangey, and this fabric is beige, and it's the same. I used same blocks to print it, same technique on the front, and a lot of hand printed textiles, designer paper with strange vintage animals, lots of browns and nice tones, textile pockets, vintage papers. So all the, and here is Van Gogh sunflowers and some vintage maps. Here big pocket to make up for the small one there, and they are all similar again. And every order made in my shop this month will get a pumpkin decoration. So this is felt. This is a real wool, but this is synthetic felt. And it's printed, hand printed by me, so it's original print. And it's soft, there is button inside, and it's sewn through. And you can hang it wherever you want. So that will come free with each order, but you can also buy them and add them to your order if you want. So they're being made here. This is what they look like. All the prints made. And I'm only gonna charge 1 postage for each item, and every additional item will be the same postage. Do you know what I mean? You will only pay 1 postage for 1 book. Even if you buy 3 books, the postage will be the same. Or if you buy pumpkins and you already bought a book, postage is included. And if you buy only pumpkin, then the postage is €5, I think, to America and to Australia. So yeah, but you will see that on my Etsy anyway, because it will just calculate it on its own. So happy October, and hopefully see you soon. Bye.